Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Angela. I am a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and through my channel I share with you some techniques and tips and tricks that I use every day in my own voiceover business, and I answer your questions to help you get started in your own voiceover business. So today what I wanted to talk about was something that I am asked about quite often recently, and that is the proper workflow for voiceover. So I thought it would be a good idea to share with you my workflow for voiceover. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get into it. And before we get started, please understand that everybody's workflow is not going to be the same. Some workflows, some different steps in the workflows might work better for you than they work for me and vice versa. But this is the way that I get through my orders. And with Fiverr in particular, I'm going to go through a Fiverr order and show you how I get it recorded and submitted to the client. So first thing I'm going to do is open my Adobe Audition. Adobe Audition is my chosen DAW that I use to record my voiceovers. So we're going to go there now. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is open my Adobe Audition, which is the DAW that I use to record and edit and format my voiceovers and my audiobooks. So what I'm going to do from here is create a new file. I'm going to hit Shift-Control-N, which creates a new audio file. And for all of the different platforms that I work on, I have a separate folder for each platform. Like I have one folder for Fiverr, one folder for Upwork, one folder for voices.com, so on and so on. So what I'm going to do with this particular audio file is I'm going to start the file name with the platform that this is for. So this is for Fiverr. So I'm going to add Fiverr and then underscore, and then I insert the username of the client that I'm working with into this audio file. And if it's a repeat customer, which this is, at the end, behind their username, I'm going to add the date in which I recorded. So once I turn I turn in the correct order, the correct audio file. So for now, because I can't share with you the username of this client, I'm going to leave this as just blank for now. But I know who it belongs to. And here we have a fresh new audio file. Now I'm going to go back to Fiverr and pull up the script that I need to narrate. So this is the script that I need to narrate, and it looks like it is 4 separate scripts. This is for an IVR, which is an interactive voice response, basically a phone tree, right? You know, when you call into your dentist's office and you hear for dentist X, press 1, for dentist Y, press 2, for accounting department, press 3, that sort of thing. Each one of these scripts is going to be a separate voice prompt. So I'm going to record all of them together, and then I'm going to have to split them into separate files. I'm not sure what's going on outside, but I'm going to have to pause this for a minute. Sounds like someone's cutting down a tree outside. I'll be back. Okay, so whatever was going on outside has stopped, so now we can get back to recording. See, it happens to all of us. All right, so now I'm going to go back to my script. And again, this is 4 different scripts that I'm going to record them all on one audio file, and then I'm going to split them later into 4 separate scripts because they are prompts, so they need to be on separate audio files. All right, so let's get started. First, I'm going to go back to Adobe and start the recording. There we go. Now back to our script. And I have my handy-dandy clicker to mark my mistakes if I make any, so when I go back and I edit it, I can remove the mistakes by seeing the visual spike. And I'll show you what I mean when we go back and edit. But let's get this recorded. Just going to take a sip of water because hydration is important. Okay. Hours of operation are Monday through Thursday, 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., Friday, 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., and Sunday by appointment only. Now, to mark the ending of one script, I snap my fingers 3 times, so 3 marks in the audio file when we go back and edit will indicate the end of one script. So I'm going to do that now. Thank you for calling AR1 Consulting, your leaders in traveling staffing solutions. If you know your party's extension, please dial it at any time. At any point in this call, to speak with a recruiter, press 0. For applicants, press 1. For employers, press 2. For questions in regard to your contract or hotel reservations, press 1. For questions For questions in regards to your assignment, press 2. To set up a new contract, press 1. For ARAP, press 2. Okay, so now I have the recording completely recorded. Now I'm going to go back to Adobe and I'm going to stop the recording. Now, I had some other talking in there, of course, because I'm talking to you, that we need to also edit out of here. So let's go through and edit this now. And of course, I got to put my ears on so I can hear what I'm editing. Okay, so first what we're going to remove is the stuff that isn't the script, which looks like it might be, because this is me showing you the clicker. Okay. Hours of operation. Okay, so that's the beginning of the actual script. So I'm going to put my playhead, using my cursor, I'm going to move my playhead here. And then I'm going to select all of this stuff that I don't want and then delete it. All right, so now I'm going to go over here to my effects rack and I have a voiceover preset that has got all of the effects that I like to use for my voiceovers that I do, which is basically NS1 mono, which reduces any kind of ambient background noise. And then I have RX7s from Isotope, the RX7 suite of audio repair. There is a mouth declick, which I highly recommend if you have a sticky mouth like I do. A deplosive, which reduces any of the air, any of the plosives, the little puffs of air that come out of your mouth when you're recording, the Ds, the Ps, Ts, even. I do have a pop filter on my mic. I don't know if you can see it, but sometimes I get a little excited and I just throw a very light deplosive in there just to make sure that it catches anything, any errant plosives that make their way through. And then I have a parametric equalizer that I use to reduce a little bit of the sibilance in my speech and also just to brighten some of my highs and to, deepen some of my lows, just a little bit of EQ. And then after that, I have CLA Vocals, which is another plugin from Waves that I use that's got a little touch of compression in it and then just a little extra touch of bass and treble to my voice because I like the way that it sounds. So I'm going to, and once you have all of these effects set in your effects rack, you can save a preset for yourself like I have here by just hitting this little button here, Save Effects Rack as a preset. You click that, and then it'll save the rack that you have over here on the side and all of its, specifications that you selected. And you can save that preset and name it as whatever you want to name it. And then going forward, all you would have to do is go to this drop down, select your preset, and then apply it. And then all of that is done for you. So that way, if you have a preset with all of your effects in it just the way you want it, it'll make all of your voiceovers uniform from voiceover to voiceover to voiceover. And then if you wanted to have a separate rack for audiobooks per se, or something in particular, like if you do meditations or something that's a little bit lower and closer to the mic, of course, your effects are going to change for that. So you could have a separate preset for your meditation voice if you wanted to. But saving a preset saves so much time and keeps in consistency in your voiceovers from order to order to order. So your clients can expect the same result time after time after time. And it saves you, the voiceover artist, a ton of time in readjusting all the effects each and every time, and then run the risk of them not sounding the same. So now that I have my effects applied, I'm going to go ahead and go through this and mark where the scripts are separated. And then I'm also going to edit out any mistakes or any other like errant mouth noises or anything else that I see along the way. And using Adobe Audition, this spectral display down here, let me just zoom in, makes things so much easier in editing because if there are any errant mouth noises, you can actually see them, which is nice. So instead of just seeing this, just the waveform, you have a whole spectral display that shows you, let me see if I can find one. So there's a little bit of a mouth noise here. And you can't really see that in just the waveform. So having this spectral display in Adobe Audition has just been huge for me in saving time in the editing process. So let's go through this now and get this ready in editing here. Hours of operation are Monday through Thursday, 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., Friday, 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., and Sunday by appointment only. Now there's a little bit of a gap here, so I'm going to select some of this dead air and delete it. Now to mark the ending of one script, I snap my fingers 3 times. So 3 marks in the audio file when we go back and edit. Okay, so that was me talking to you. So I have to delete this last section here. So I'm going to select all of this talking blah blah up into the point, delete, up into the point where I snapped 3 times to indicate the ending of one script, which is what this is. And again, with the waveform, I would barely be able to see that. But with the spectral display, it's clear as day. This is where the first script ends. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to delete the snapping. And in its place, I'm going to put a marker by hitting M on my keyboard just to mark the end of this script. Now we move on to script 2. Now, there's going to be a lot of dead air here between the two, or at the start of script 2. So I'm just going to delete that, and then we'll listen through. Thank you for calling AR1 Consulting, your leaders in traveling staffing solutions. Now, again, another really big gap of dead air, so I'm going to delete this. If you know your party's extension, please dial it at any time. Okay, and then another bit of dead air here. Let's just delete that. At any point in this call, to speak with a recruiter, press 0. Another bit of dead air. For applicants, press 1. For employers, press 2. Okay, so then now, that one was good. So now I can see my snaps again. So I know this is the end of the previous script. So I'm going to delete that. And again, in its place, put a marker. Now this is the start of script 3. So I'm going to delete some of this dead air before the narration starts and then listen through. For questions in regard to your contract or hotel reservations, press 1. For questions, that's when I cleared my throat. So I'm going to, here's where I clicked with my clicker so you can completely see that. So what I'm going to do is find the beginning of the correct, where I restarted. So this was for questions. Okay, so I'm going to put my playhead here at the beginning of my mistake, select the entire mistake and all of the clicks I made and delete it. For questions in regards to your assignment, press 2. Okay, so that's the end of script 3. So now here are my snaps, right? So I'm going to remove that and put a marker and then delete some of this dead room tone at the start of script 4. To set up a new contract, press 1. For ARAP, press 2. And then the rest of this should just be me talking to you, but I'm just going to make sure. Okay, so now I have the recording. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put my playhead at the end of script 4 and then just delete all of this. Boop. Okay, now I have my 4 separate scripts edited, ready to go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to normalize to -3 dB. And you can do this by going up to favorites and selecting normalize to -3 dB. I have my normalization saved to a hotkey on my keyboard. So it makes it just a little bit faster. All right, so now I have everything normalized, edited, EQ'd, everything sounds good. Now I need to split these files. So what I'm going to do is I will typically take the name of my original file, copy it so it has the username, right? The username of the client this is going to. And then at the very end of the file, I will include a 1, 2, 3, or 4 to indicate which number script it is. So for example, I'm going to copy from the marker to the front and then right-click, copy to new. And then this one I'm going to name as script 1, right? But I would also have the client's username in there so I can easily find it later. But for now, I'm just going to name it script 1 so I know which one it is, and then OK. Then I'm going to go back to the original file, and then now select from marker to marker script 2. Right-click, copy to new. And this one is now going to be script 2. And then back to the original file. From marker to marker, right-click, copy to new. And this is script 3. And then back to the original file. Now that I have the other 3 from this original file already copied, what I'm going to do, or in their own files, I'm going to select 1, 2, and 3 and delete them, and then I'm left with just script 4. So now this original file, I can save it now as script 4. So when I saved it originally, I had the entire script there, right? I had 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I can always go back to that master file that I saved originally before I change the name to something else. So in essence, I now have 5 different files saved to my computer that I can reference if I need to change or fix or merge or do anything. I have safely, all 5 files. Some people don't really do that, but I do because I like I said, I always err on the side of caution. I'd rather have more opportunity to fix something and make it easier on myself, even though it may take up more space on my computer. But I do purge everything off once a month, once every couple months, depending on how busy I am. So it doesn't bog down the storage on my computer. That's important to do. And it also safeguards all of the work that you do, all of the audiobooks, everything is safely off of your computer in case your computer crashes or anything like that. You have all of the work you've done on an external hard drive and everything is safe. Side note, smart thing to do. Okay, so now we have 4 separate scripts. Now we go back to my order on Fiverr and deliver them. All right, so to deliver these files, I'm going to hit the Deliver Now button. And then I'm going to select one of my quick responses. And on Fiverr, you can save a bunch of different lightning responses for all different kinds of purposes. And it does save time. So for this one, I'm going to select a repeat buyer order delivery because I mentioned before, this is a repeat client. So I have a specific response for clients that have come back to me time and time again, thanking them again for another order, that sort of thing. So I'm going to hit this button, and then now that the message is there, already pre-filled with their username and everything, I'm going to upload the files by hitting Upload Work. All right, and now all of my files are uploading. Looks like they are uploaded, and then once they are all uploaded and completely uploaded, you click the Deliver button. And there you go. That is my workflow for completing orders on Fiverr, and I hope that helps answer that question about workflow. Audiobooks are fairly similar. If you have the opportunity and the time, the client has the time to give you to read the book beforehand and mark it, or look up words for pronunciation or develop character voices, that sort of thing. That's always recommended. But it's basically the same. You open the book, read the book, open a new file for each chapter, and then go through the processes. So each voiceover and audiobook narration is pretty similar to the same process as this. I hope that helps answer that question. If you have any more questions about voiceover or audiobook narration, please leave them down below. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. I really appreciate that. And if you want to know more about me, my work, or how I can help you get started in voiceover or audiobook narration, check out my website, VoiceOverAngela.com. And as always, thank you so much for your time, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.